Welcome to Knicksfandom. This is an independent New York Knicks fan-based podcast, which was created by fans for fans. The show is hosted by LA Blackwell, Danny, and Flau. They'll discuss the issues surrounding the Knicks, the NBA, and various other sports-related topics. Join us. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
Hey, yo, you ready? Let's do it. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now because it's Knicks fandom. That's right. We're back, people. And on today's show, we will discuss the recent proposed trade between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers that involve Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving that appear to be a done deal. But in the words of Nathaniel Hell, better known as the late Nate Dogg, hold up. The Cavs reportedly wanted more incentive to take on Isaiah Thomas' contract due to the lingering issues surrounding his injured hip. We also briefly discussed the Nerlens Noel essentially betting on himself into signing a one-year, $4.1 million contract with the Dallas Mavericks instead of signing a long-term contract with the Mavericks, as reported by Adrian Wojnarowski and some unnamed sources, for reportedly 4 years and $70 million back on July 1st, 2017. We will also touch upon some recent Knicks developments that we haven't been able to discuss while we're on hiatus as well. So get yourself settled, relax, and enjoy. This is episode 31 of our podcast, known as Knicks Fandom. As always, I'm your host, LA Blackwell. Hope all our listeners out there are doing great. As usual, I'm excited to be joined by my co-host, Danny D. How you been doing, Danny D?
Man, welcome back, LA. What's going on, man? How's everything with your brother?
I'm good, man. We back. Also great to be joined by my fellow co-host, Flo. How you been doing, Flo?
LA, welcome back, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. We back. The listeners, we back for you, man. And we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so sit back and enjoy it. But before we get started, y'all know I got to take care of some housekeeping issues. If you haven't done so before, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our iTunes page. The more subscribers and listeners that we receive, the faster it will allow us to grow as a channel and as a movement. Also, please leave a review on iTunes when you get a chance. Only takes a few minutes, but it definitely helps with our overall rankings. But now that we got all that out the way, it's time to talk about our main man, Kyrie. You know I'm a big fan of Kyrie, guys. I want him for the Knicks, hoping that deal can happen, but I'm not willing to give KP. But we'll talk about that as we go along in the show. The recent proposed trade involving Kyrie Irving of the Cleveland Cavaliers was to be traded to the Boston Celtics for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and the Brooklyn Nets unprotected number one pick in the 2017-2018 upcoming draft. So starting with you, Flo, what are your initial thoughts regarding the proposed trade and the latest developments surrounding the Cavaliers reportedly seeking further compensation from the Celtics due to Thomas's injured hip?
Once again, LA, and I said this in a previous podcast, Danny Ainge, once again, trying to exploit teams as usual. We did this with the Brooklyn Nets, taking advantage of them by trading an older Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry, and future Hall of Famer small forward Paul Pierce to the Nets. Kyrie doesn't want to play in Cleveland. So what does he do? He reaches out to the Cleveland Cavaliers' new GM, and correct me, gentlemen, if I'm wrong. I believe the new GM's name is Kobe Altman. Please correct me. Made a phone call. I'm sure the first thing that Cleveland's new GM requested was Jason Tatum. Danny Ainge said, no, I'll give you the Brooklyn's first-round draft pick, 2018 first-round draft picks. And I think right there, that opened up the door of a conversation of getting this deal, of trying to get this deal done. Isaiah Thomas has 1 year left on his contract. Jay Crowder got 3 years left. You got Ante Zizic. Personally, this trade actually favors more, in my opinion, the Boston Celtics. At the end of the day, you're getting the best player in the deal. That's Kyrie Irving. Jay Crowder is a very good basketball player. He's a 3-and-D type player, and also definitely a good suitable replacement for LeBron James, just in case he leaves. And Isaiah Thomas, a point guard, an all-star, but again, Isaiah Thomas has been playing with an injured hip. The hip was injured in the Wizards series when he couldn't stop John Wall from going off on him.
Okay, I hear you, Flo. And the GM name is Kobe Altman. But what do you think about Danny D? Thank you, Flo. What about that Danny D, the overall deal? How are you looking at it right now?
The overall, so when we first talked about it, guys, we thought we thought about it was going to be even out. It was going to be a good compensation for the Cavaliers, good compensation for Boston. But like we said before they even did the physical stuff like that, we knew Isaiah was hurt. Danny Ainge is like, hurt? What are you talking about, man? He's walking, right? We're not doing this deal, player? What you mean? Go ahead and sign that player. Come on, you know what I'm saying? You do what you got to do. We giving you the draft pick. We giving you Jason Tatum. Now you can't get that. Come on now. You asking for too much, player. Come on now. We trying to contend with you in the East, man. So go ahead and take Isaiah and take that unprotected first-round draft. That should be enough. No, man, Isaiah's hurt. And we know we have no sighting. We haven't seen him run, no physical, nothing in the summertime, nothing. So it's not an even deal. So it's a bad trade. And Danny Ainge knows that. And Cleveland doing the physical and things like that, if I'm Cleveland, I don't need more compensation. I need to null and void the trade because I'm giving up Kyrie, who's an all-star, a bona fide MVP in the NBA Finals for a guy who's hurt. I love Isaiah, but he's hurt. And I don't know when he's going to get better. Because if it gets too serious of, I don't know if he can have surgery or not, that's serious. That's my take on it.
Thank you, D. Exactly. Got to agree with you guys. And like you said, Kyrie is 25 years old. That's what a lot of people not remember. He's 25 years old. He's also already won a championship. He got his chip. And these guys you can build around. And you don't trade too many people in their prime right now who's already got a chip, who's an MVP type candidate. He just haven't won with his team and led a team like LeBron. That's the only thing you could really hold against him. But the thing is, you're giving this to the Celtics, and the question is why? Why are you rushing this now to this type of team? I know you don't want to get caught up with Paul George, what happened with that situation. That's what Cleveland is doing right now. But you still got Kyrie under like 2 more years in contract wise. So to me, you don't do the panic move like this. And if you're going to do a move like this and trade the one main commodity in this, which is Kyrie, I'm getting the main pieces back I want for my team as well. Not just that draft pick from the Nets, because the Nets are not going to be as bad as they was last year. At least I don't believe so. So the thing is, you got to get Jason Tatum involved in that deal, or you got to get Jaylen Brown, something like that. You got to add that to this type of deal to me. You can't just go using the same type of deal to the team within your own division as well. That's another thing Cleveland is looking at. You breaking up a team that went to the championship finals 3 years in a row. So I'm doing that, and I'm getting Isaiah Thomas, who didn't even have surgery on his hip. So we don't know, like you said, Danny D, where this is even going to go right now. If he's even going to be there for the next year, and you have to put all this money on him next year after that, because he's an unrestricted free agent after that. So that's the thing you have to think about it too. So just looking at that, fellas, what you think overall? Would you still go forward with this deal? Because right now it's in limbo from what we heard at the taping of this podcast. Or if you do go forward, what else would you have them add, or would you just pull out all together right now if you Cleveland? Starting with you this time, Danny D.
If I'm Cleveland, I can't go through it because, like you said, I'm giving up a guy who's 25 in his prime, who's maybe 6 feet, to Isaiah, who's 5'9", with an injured hip. I gotta retract. I gotta go back to the drawing board and re-up after that. If LeBron and Kyrie have to sit down, they're both grown men and professionals, and they have to do what's great of the team. And don't get me wrong, I love Isaiah. And what I think right now what Boston's doing Isaiah is messed up because also they're playing with Isaiah's money. This is a contract year. People and other teams didn't know that Isaiah was injured. His injury was that bad. So now, even if he wants to go in and get a contract or play with Cleveland or further and get a sign with another team, now he's going to question because now your question is, can he stay healthy and is he healthy enough to lead a team? It's a contract year. It's money time.
Very true. Very good point you made there, Danny D. What do you think about that, Flo?
Danny D made an excellent point. You're devaluing Isaiah Thomas's trade value. Why? Because a lot of teams didn't even know he was hurt. He didn't even have surgery on the hip. That's what made it worse. Here's the thing which I don't understand with this deal. And this is the question I have to ask Cleveland. Number one, why would you even make a deal with Danny Ainge based on the type of person Danny Ainge is in terms of business-wise? Why not go out there and pull the trigger on a deal with Phoenix? Get Eric Bledsoe in return, a Rich Paul client, by the way, connected to LeBron James. Why not go after him instead and demand a draft pick from Phoenix? I already know Phoenix already said no to Josh Jackson. That's fine. But get something else in return with Eric Bledsoe. I just don't understand what Cleveland's doing. I really don't. You're giving up on Kyrie too quickly, and you're not getting enough in return. Yes, you're getting a Brooklyn pick, first round pick. Yes, I get that. That's nice. You're getting Jay Crowder. Yes, a 3-and-D player. Yes, I get it. But it's not enough. An injured Isaiah Thomas. You're getting Ante Zizic, which we don't really know too much about him. It's not enough. You're giving up a guy who people forget. Yes, he might have been the number 2 option in Cleveland in Kyrie Irving, but this is the guy who takes big shots. People forget this is the guy who hit that game-winning 3 to help Cleveland win that championship over Stephen Curry in Golden State in a Game 7. Did people forget about that? Come on, man. You got to get something better for Kyrie. Kyrie's a franchise player. This is not a great deal for Cleveland. They should veto this trade.
Okay. Thank you, fellas. I definitely agree with that on both parts of what y'all saying. I think they're just not being patient enough. At the same time, I think they're devaluing what Kyrie brings to the team. And the thing is, you're trying to do this to keep LeBron, and I don't think he's going to stay anyway. People like, I'm hearing some people say, well, they got Crowder and Isaiah. This team is a better team now. They got a better chance to win, which might be good short term. But I don't think it's going to keep LeBron staying there anyway. I don't think either way this team is going to beat Golden State Warriors unless they have a massive injury or something like that. So I don't see where's that really get you better than what you was last year. Instead, you want one more game instead of getting 4-1 this year, previous year. I don't see the big hubbub about it either way. And LeBron been in the league about 15 years almost. So it's like, if he's not going to stay and you're giving up your main young piece, which is Kyrie, what else you going to build around? Kevin Love and all that? I just don't see where you're going with that. I like the part you actually have a lot of cap space after that. If it does go through with Isaiah, and let's say you don't want to keep LeBron or Isaiah, you have the cap space to go after 2 major players. But once again, the same thing I said about Indiana Pacers, nobody's coming to Cleveland. When you got your own player, LeBron left you, and he's from Cleveland. Why you think somebody going to sign and want to be this team? Who's a star player like that? Nobody's coming there. No disrespect to Cleveland, but it's the same thing Indiana face. When you have all these small market teams that nobody want to go there anymore. You see it with Durant. You see it with LeBron. These guys not doing it, but this is what I like. I like that it came back to bite LeBron this time. You had somebody saying, no, I don't want no part of this right now. I don't want to be with the king. I want to make my own kingdom. And that's how it used to be for the most part in the league, and that's what I want to go back to. So, big up to Kyrie for doing that. But another thing I want to ask you guys, as Knicks fans, what are your thoughts regarding the rumors about the Cavs seeking Kristaps Porzingis as compensation for Kyrie Irving? Would you have made this deal if you were the Knicks? Starting with you, Flo.
Hell no. I'm not trading the unicorn for Kyrie Irving. No. I already know that based on what I've seen in 2 years in the Knicks uniform, I know that Porzingis is a solid number 2 option. A guy that can give me 20 points a night, give me 2 block shots, can give me at least 8 rebounds. I know that already. He's developing. I'd rather have Kyrie as a number 1 option with Porzingis, not trade them for each other. Hell no.
Okay, but Kyrie is a number 2 option. So what's the main difference you get? And Kyrie is more proven than Porzingis is at this point, just playing devil's advocate.
Well,
and he's from the New York tri-state area. That might be another reason why you think you could have signed him back within 2 years. He did put the Knicks as one of the team on the list he wanted to be traded to. Been a lot of stuff going on with Porzingis. You might have to worry in a couple of years if you're really going to stay or not. I think he is, but I'm just, doing devil's advocate. What you think?
With Kyrie, we already know that he's not afraid to take big shots. I think he comes to New York. He definitely could be a number 1 option. I definitely believe that. But I'm not trading Porzingis for Kyrie. No. I build the team around both of those players. Not trade one for one another. I'm not doing it.
Okay. What about you, Danny D?
Now, I got to keep the big man here. I got to keep KP here, man. Love Kyrie, got to handle stuff like that. He's a bona fide star and things like that. But the thing is, he can't do it by himself. People forget Kyrie, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't say Kyrie's a man and stuff like that, but he also had LeBron James, the greatest basketball player, in a wing next to him with JR, with Kevin Love. I remember when he didn't have LeBron. Those guys were doo-doo.
But that team didn't have Kevin Love in them either, really. He only had him for a couple games while LeBron was out,
Listen, they were the bottom of the barrel. Doo-doo. That's why I remember they had the number 1 pick like 3 years in a row. I remember that.
No, I hear you.
I'm sticking with KP. young rookie. Remember, we're not paying him that much. He's still on a rookie contract. 7 foot, can put the ball on the floor. You get a little bit of weight, he can rebound. I got to stick with my man KP. Like I said, with Flo said, I would definitely want those two to a new dynamic duo. Of course, Anthony Hardaway, and Shaq, kind of Penny and Shaq type of thing with those two together be crazy. But I can't do a swap though.
No, I hear you. I would like to disagree, but I can't. He's only like 22 years old, and you can't teach height, as we always used to say. And KP is like that rare talent you don't see every day in the NBA. Not to say that you do with Kyrie either, but he's the type of talent you could put around a lot of different players. Kyrie maybe will play in certain systems. So that's one thing I have to look at going down the road. Only thing I haven't worried about with KP is injury issues. That's the only thing I'm worried about, his legs and his knees. It's hard for them tall guys like that to be moved around like that and not get injured. So that's the only thing I worry about with him. But I'm definitely not trading KP for Kyrie at this point either. I would not do that. But like you said, if we find some way to make it happen, put them together, I'm all for it. So y'all can have everybody else on that team but KP in the kitchen sink, But that's how I look at it. And anything else you want to add regarding this potential blockbuster trade, guys, before we put the rest for now? Starting with you, Danny D.
Nah, I'm all right.
How about you, Flo?
Yeah, in regards to Kyrie, once again, if you're Cleveland, LA, you mentioned this earlier. Let's say you approve the deal, you're Cleveland. Let's say you don't win the chip. LeBron walks, Isaiah Thomas walks, right? You're freeing up cap space. That's cool and all. But then again, guess what? You still have some bad contracts on your books. You got Iman Shepard's contract. You got Kevin Love's contract. You got J.R. Smith's contract. So you got to move those guys if you want to do a full rebuild. You got to move those guys. That's going to be hard to do. You're going to have to find a playoff team that's willing to take on those guys' contracts.
No, I hear you.
If you're Cleveland, if you want this deal to go through, you ask for another first-round pick, like a 2020 first-round pick.
No, it makes
or
a lot of
Jaylen
sense.
Brown.
One thing that stands out to me looking at it is going forward that the league is changing right now. And I think this is what you're going to see after this deal one way or the other. Whether it does go through or it doesn't. The loyalty is gone. You've seen this with Durant. Now you're seeing this on the business side with the Celtics and how they're treating Isaiah Thomas. And you're seeing the players coming out and they're making statements. A lot of players are not even in the lead anymore. Like the Caron Butler's coming out there. And I'll quote one thing he said. And he said basically the Celtics traded a guy who played in the game for them a day after his sister died, but y'all expect players to be loyal to the franchise. Sure. And then also Ray Allen, a former Celtic, and, Hall of Famer, basically said, I may thought the same thing Allen wrote. Why is it that we are disloyal for going to a team we feel will be best for us, but there's no outrage towards the teams that trades us? Fans kill us, but when a team does it, it's just business. Shaking my head. I expect every Celtic fan to be pissed off at the organization, excuse my French, because they showed that they were disloyal to Isaiah. They trade him to your rival, the team you guys play in the conference finals. Oh, wait, now it's just business. So basically, this is what you have to look at going forward. So right now, you want to look at these teams and these players going to make what best moves is for them, and they're not going to give you that little hometown discount no more. So you're basically going to be cheering for a lot of laundry out here, people. You got to get used to that right now. Because Durant opened the door, LeBron opened the door to this type of thing. I don't know if this is really where you want to go, but this is where it's going. And just going forward, you have to really look at these teams and just look how that landscape going to be a year or two ahead. Because if you're not happy and these players not happy, you're going to have to start making these moves right and left with these Paul George moves and these Kyrie Irving moves when these guys still under contract. So you have to look at that before you even sign these big money deals. Even with the Melo situation, with our Knicks situation. Now he's only saying he want to go to one team reportedly, which is Houston. It's like you have a no trade contract, you're having one with this team, and now we also handcuffing them and saying you're only going to one team. This is not good for organization, not good for fans. This is not even good for players on some level. Because after a while, you're only being that selfish in all these regards. Where are these teams really going to come to? If you got teams where these players went to the final 3 years in a row and they still can't get on the same page. So that's just something that I just want you guys to think about, the fans to think about. Y'all give us our thoughts with that, maybe in the comment section down below in the YouTube or something like that. That's it for regarding that first segment, fellas. I'm going to go into the next segment regarding the show. And for our next NBA Sporting News Weekly Review, as I stated at the top of the show, one of the major NBA topics involved Nerlens Noel reportedly turning down a potential long-term deal and instead signing a 1-year, $4.1 million contract to return to the Mavericks. Briefly, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this matter? Starting with you, Flo.
Well, I think Nerlens Noel's an idiot. Why would you turn down 4 years, $70 million? That's a lot of money. You should have signed the deal when the deal was out there. I understand. I understand that he's just switched agents. Now he's down with Rich Paul, who's buddies with LeBron and the Clutch Sports agency. I understand that, but still, shame on Nerlens Noel. Shame on him, especially for a guy who's 6'11". He's got a wingspan of 7'3.5", athletic, catch lobs, finishes in transition. But also keep in mind he's a guy who's injury prone. And he's a non-offensive skilled player. At best, he's a guy that can probably play 25 minutes a night. Maybe he's like a Larry Sanders 2.0 at best. You'd hope that he becomes like a DeAndre Jordan, but he might be Larry Sanders 2.0. In his career, averaged 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 2 steals, but a horrible free throw shooter. I believe he averaged 61% from the free throw line. He's betting on himself, that's fine, but he better make sure he works on his offensive skills.
Okay, thank you, Flo. How about you, Danny D?
Yeah, I see him betting on himself, but the thing is, you have to know how to hold him and when to fold him. And maybe he got confused about the summer before because everybody got big contracts. From before, everybody wants something because he wanted a max deal. So the max deal, maybe he wanted was in the fives, maybe in the $90, $100 million range. But 4 years, 70, you're young. You should have took it. You're betting on yourself. But then how much higher you want to go? Because next year, a lot of other big men are going to be free agents too. So it's going to flood the market too. And it's going to mess up the market and mess up your money. I'd have went with the 4 year, 70. That's me personally because you're still young. Well, hopefully he can do what he got to do and prove him wrong. And hopefully he can get a max deal.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. Got to agree with you guys again this time. I think he definitely overestimated the landscape. Looking at it now, I think that salary cap smoothing proposal they were talked about, they would introduce more salary cap room into the league as a whole, would have helped this situation instead of just being this one big, I think it was like $19 million surge, they said. And I think that kind of changed the whole landscape of it. I think looking at it, they thought a lot more people would get money the way they did previously. And once the money was gone, it was gone. Even so that would happen with Derrick Rose and things like that. So just looking at it overall, like you said, Danny D, I think also he's not looking forward, looking at all the players that's going to be restricted free agents in the next year. So with Joel Embiid, you got Brook Lopez, got a lot of big guys that can really move out there. Nurkic, he's going to be out there. Marcus Cousins, DeAndre Jordan. So there's a lot of these guys you're going to be going against for that same salary cap position. And also, like you stated, Flo, he's a limited player in that. He's not nearly the offense player DeMarcus Cousins is or the potential of Joel Embiid. So you have to look at these things and look at the landscape going forward. And also, like you stated, one other thing, Danny D, was the injuries. This guy had a lot of injuries to be so young. He basically missed a whole season with an injury before. And had the knee injuries and things of that nature as well. So it's like I wouldn't have took the chance on losing that money right there just because you haven't really put up those numbers. I think he would do well in this defense with Dallas Mavericks coach and everything of that nature, but you're taking a big chance right now, especially with $4.1 million. I mean, I'm not going to sneeze at that they give to me, but looking at what it could have been, nah, it wasn't a good move right there. I think he fired a agent a little too late. So just looking at that, something to keep an eye on there and see what happened going forward with that, guys. But, have to see as we go forward within the season, see where it really lands him. But hopefully he lands on his feet with it and it works out because I like him as a player too, and I think he definitely can produce down the road, but took a big chance right there. So, one other thing I want to talk about regarding the NBA and Sports Weekly Review. You guys ain't got anything in particular you want to talk about? Starting with you this time, Danny D.
Only thing with Sporting News was just a big shout out because Ice Cube Big Three tournament ended, and you got the former players that won the championship. So big shout out to Coach Rick Mahorn and the trilogy with Al Harrington, Kenya Martin, your boy Rashad McCants, James White, and Deion Glover, man. They won the championship out there for the Brick 3 annual tournament, man. So big up to those guys.
Okay, that's something to see. Did y'all watch any of them games? I saw like little clips here and there. And I saw MIA with MIA, so I don't know. Or AI specifically with MIA. But one other thing I wanted to talk about in my regard with NBA was the Dwayne Wade, the potential buyout from the Bulls when he's already owed $23.8 million for the upcoming 2017-18 season. And what you guys thought about that? Starting with you this time, Flo.
Well, I don't understand D-Wade. Why would he want to buy out of Chicago? He's not going to get that money from no other NBA team. If he gets a buyout, that means that he's going to have to take a major pay cut just to sign with any team out there. I think he should just stay in Chicago, collect his money, and just try to stay healthy this season. I don't think that's a smart move on his part to accept a buyout from Chicago.
But I think I think he wanted his full money and just wanted to cut him.
Yeah, that's what the buyout, because that's what he wants. I don't know how much they give him for buyouts. If it's 23, they might give him something in the 20s. If he wants the buyout, because then it's like you're double dipping. So you'll get the buyout, and then you'll sign for a low team. You're getting 2 checks. Exactly.
This is why I want to bring it up, because it made me real tight when I saw this. I mean, we talked about this before, and I'm like, I don't know why you signed him anyway to that Chicago Bulls team. There was no reason to put him on that team anyway. Even when you have Rondo and Jimmy Butler, it was a bad fit to begin with.
Hey, man. I'm Dwayne Wade. Listen, if I'm Dwayne Wade, man, I got hoodwinked and bamboozled. Y'all sold me false goods, man. You let Jimmy walk and you let Rondo walk, man. I'm not this by myself. Give me the buyout so I can go to Cleveland and do what I really want, man. Just give me the money.
Man.
Gosh, man.
He under contract. He's staying right with here, man. You're going to be a big tutor for these young guys, and you're going to be doing a lot of stuff in practice, man.
I ain't tutoring nobody. Me and Gabrielle got stuff, man. Let me off this team, guy. I'm out of here.
Or you know what? He can buy out as long as he gives us like half the money back. That's cool with me.
I want my full pension, man. I'm out of here, man.
Well, as they say in Blue Chips, I see you at practice, man. I expect to see you the next game, man. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting bought out. I'm not getting $23 million for you to be busting me up every game throughout the season, and I'm gonna see you might get a potential chip with LeBron. That ain't happening, man.
Hey, man, you gotta let me free, man. I'm locked up, man. I want free.
Akon style. I got locked up. Oh man.
Let me out.
But that was pretty much it for the NBA Weekly Review. Unless y'all had anything else to add. Otherwise, we'll jump into our next segment, guys, which is our weekly Knicks Roundup. And I just briefly want to talk about some of the topics that have been surrounding the Knicks while we was on our brief hiatus. And starting with Scott Perry being named as the new general manager of the New York Knicks. What you think about this guy, Flo, and Scott Perry being the general manager of the New York Knicks?
I think it was a good move by the New York Knicks. Scott Perry is 53 years old. He was a front office executive with the Detroit Pistons who worked under Joe Dumars, won the championship in 2004 with the Detroit Pistons. He actually left for a year to go to Seattle Supersonics. He was part of the staff that drafted Kevin Durant. Went back to Detroit for a couple more years. Then he left to go to Orlando. He is responsible for a couple of players that Orlando had that they have currently on the team or has moved on. For example, he's responsible for drafting Victor Oladipo. LA, I know you love him. Power forward, Aaron Gordon. Point guard Alfred Payton. That's D's boy. And shooting guard Mario Huizinga. Now, he left. Actually, let me correct that. He was terminated in Orlando, signed with the Sacramento Kings, and he became Vladivost's number 2 guy, even though he wasn't there too long. He's responsible He's responsible for convincing Vlade Divac to draft some players, such as De'Aaron Fox from Kentucky, Justin Jackson, small forward from North Carolina, and Harry Giles, big man from Duke. From my understanding, personally, He's got good relationships. He's well connected within the league. He's well respected. He's got experience as an executive, and he's a guy who has a defensive mentality. So his idea of building a team is around defense. He is responsible for drafting Tayshaun Prince in Detroit. Keep that in mind, gentlemen. I think it's a good deal for the Knicks. Win-win. Finally, Mr. Dolan got it right. Signing a guy who is an experienced front office guy. Very, very, very. It's a good move. Definitely a good move. And it might actually be a great move down the road. But right now, it's a good move. We gave up a second-round draft pick for him. It's a good move by the Knicks. Good job.
Okay. How about you, Danny D?
Yeah, let's see how I feel. Sure, I'm very indifferent right now. There's really much we can say. What Flo was saying about the history and things like that. Seems like he's a good person. Only time will tell. So hopefully things will work out. He has the experience, and hopefully him and Steve Mills can get the boat going, start this race, and we can end up doing some good things in New York.
Yeah. Thank you, D. I agree with both of you guys looking at it. You know who I wanted. I wanted Masai Ujiri, but it wasn't going to happen. We couldn't get him because we had to give up an additional pick they didn't want to do. And, he's basically the main president of the Toronto Raptors, so he wasn't going to leave that job for a lower job, which I understand. But also looking at I just didn't want David Griffin, so I'm very happy that didn't happen. I didn't want no part of him. And this basically is good because now you have Steve Mills going back to doing what he does best with the team upstairs. I don't want him to handle contracts after that Tim Hardaway deal, which we're going to get into, because right now they just threw money away at that one. Gave him way too much the way I look at it, but we'll get into that. And this guy, like you said, Flo, he's a guy that's well known within the league. He's very personable from what I've seen from his interviews and from the videos and things I've read on him, that he has a good connection with the players. He's one of those player-type GMs and things of that nature, which is one thing you didn't have with Phil. So you're hoping he fills that spot up. Since we didn't really have that good push to getting the superstar-type free agents right now. So hopefully that will help balance this all out. Also another guy that's going to be in Hornacek corner and also might help smooth things out with Porzingis and maybe even with Melo. So we'll see what happens with that. But like you said, Danny D, time will tell. And that's all Knicks fans got right now is time. So we'll see what happens with that going forward. And just going forward, another deal that went down during our hiatus was Tim Hardaway Jr., 4-year deal for $70,950,000, according to Spottrack.com. And I just want to see your overall thought regarding him returning to the Knicks and the contract and where you see him going forward with the Knicks. So on with you, Danny D.
What the hell was going on here, man? What? No. Listen, you know it's bad when it ends. Don't get me wrong, Tim can play. Tim Hardaway can play. But you know what's bad when they asked Tim Hardaway Jr. and he said he was surprised that he got offered that. When the player said he is surprised he got offered that, you know we're in trouble. That's crazy. They was like, we don't think Atlanta's going to offer. Of course Atlanta's not going to offer that deal. Are y'all crazy? No. They said now with Tim Hardaway contract, they said his contract eats up 18% of the Knicks salary. 18% with the Knicks salary, right? Let's keep in mind, guys. They're giving him 4 years, $71 million, or whatever the count is. They gave Dion Waiters in Miami 4 years, $52. They gave Patty Mills 4 years, $50.
Wow.
That's what they gave us. That's what I'm saying. Listen, that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're going to say. Look at that. Courtney Lee, we don't know if he's going to start. Him and Courtney Lee play the same position. Courtney's still on his $48 million contract. The only thing, if they'd have knocked it back and said, all right, maybe we'll give him 4 years, 40, in the 40 range, I would have no problem. But $71 million, come on.
That's true. And the funny part is, I read somewhere, his contract now is worth more than Tim Hardaway, his daddy, or his NBA earners throughout the whole career. And I think nobody would doubt that his daddy was way better than he is.
His daddy had $47 million. His daddy for his whole 14 years playing. This is crazy.
So he want to go back in that way back machine, man. Like, is he worth this type of money? What am I worth then, man? so just looking at that. What you think about it, Flo? Thank you, Dandy.
LA, let me say, I got a lot to say on this. Let me begin quickly with this. Positive, 25 years old. Negatives. Tim Hardaway Jr. can't create his own shot. His shot selection is very poor. And he's a poor defender. This is a guy that was sent down to the D League by Atlanta Hawks. If you think about it, gentlemen, we traded Tim Hardaway Jr. We drafted him, then we traded him for the rights of Jerry Grant, the nephew of Horace Grant, former Chicago Bull power forward. So I don't get it. I really don't get this. But gentlemen, here's the thing that really bothers me the most. And I think D mentioned this earlier. You got Courtney Lee's contract, 3 years, $37.5 million on your books. You got Joakim's Noah contract that none of you guys mentioned. You still got 3 years, $54 million left on Noah's contract. Come on. And then you go after and you sign this guy to a big deal? That's crazy. This has Steve Mills written all over it, this deal. So, gentlemen, I got a trivia question for both of you guys. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Trivia question. All right. Player A and player B. One of these players is Tim Hardaway Jr. The other player is a shooting guard that was a free agent that signed recently. Player A played in 314 NBA career games. 79% free throw shooter. He has 274 career starts. He averaged 30 minutes in his NBA career every night. He's a 41% field goal shooter, 33% three-point shooter. He averages 12 points per game, 1.6 assists per game, 1.2 steals per game, and 3 rebounds a game. That's player A. Also, he has a 6'8" wingspan. Player B, on the other hand, has 281 career games, 62 career starts, average 23 minutes a game. He shoots 43% from the field. He shoots 35% from 3. He's an 80% free throw shooter. Also averages 2.1 rebounds per game in his NBA career, 1.5 assists per game, 0.5 steals per game, and averages 11 points per game. Player B. Gentlemen, also, he has a 6'7" wingspan. So, gentlemen, which player you prefer to have, player A or player B?
What's the ages for player A and B?
Player B is 25 years old. Player A is 24 years old.
Okay. I know where I'm leaning to. What'd you say, Danny D?
I might have went with A.
I'm kind of leaning to B.
Wow. And you going with B, LA?
I'm kind of leaning that way.
Player B is Tim Hardaway Jr.
Okay. And who's player A?
Player A is a player I wanted the Knicks to sign that signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope.
Yeah, I can see either way. I'm not that big on Pope like I was before, so I still would have signed, I think, Hardaway over it, but not for that money.
But that's the thing, LA. This is the thing that bothers me the most. The Knicks finished second in signing Dion Waiters. They finished second. So if they probably offered, let's guess, they offered the same deal Miami offered Dion Waiters. The difference is you don't pay no taxes in Florida. That's the difference. So that's more money in Dion Waiters' pocket, correct?
No,
Am I correct, gentlemen?
Correct.
So if that's the case, why are you overpaying for a player when you know the Atlanta Hawks already have stated they weren't going to give him more than $45 million? The market's $2 million. And then you oversaturated the market by giving this guy $71 million. I understand, yes, this is a player that played with the Knicks. I get it. But you're not. Why are you giving him $71 million? Why?
And that's where we are. That's the conundrum, people.
That's the $1 million question, or the $72 million question.
Well, I think we all agree with that. But going forward, You want to talk about overpaid? Another guy who I think was overpaid this offseason was Ron Baker, who received a 2-year deal for $8,872,400, according to SpotTrack.com, with a player option in the second year. What's your overall thoughts regarding him returning to the Knicks in this contract? Starting with you, Flo, this time.
Another bad free agent signing by the Knicks once again. Very bad. Who are you competing with to re-sign Ron Baker? There was no offers on the table from other teams. No one was fighting. No one was calling Ron Baker's door on July 1st trying to sign him. Come on. The Knicks did a horrible job. They could have signed MCW, Michael Carter-Williams, for a 1-year, $2.75 million deal that he got with the Charlotte Hornets.
Exactly.
Or they could have signed Sheldon Mack, who signed with Orlando Magic. Or they could have traded a second-round draft pick for a player I really like to the Sacramento Kings, and Garrett Temple, a point guard who's 6'6", and who could be a great veteran to our buddy Frank.
That's what I was looking for. And they still could have got Rondo. You never really try to push that from what I heard. They kept leaving him out there, and never really contacted him from what I heard. And he didn't get that big-time contract. And even Derrick Rose got $2.1 million. I know he wasn't coming back to the Knicks. He wanted to go to a winning environment. Okay, I get that. But you need a vet, like I said, and as you stated, Flo, to go and tutor on Frank. So I don't know why you pay that much for Baker, who's going to be a third option on the team to me anyway, just because he's the practice and he works hard. You've definitely overpaid. And to give him a player option at that, not even a team option? I didn't understand that move at all. And plus, he was a restricted free agent. You could have waited that out. There was no reason to rush out there like you stated. He was not unrestricted. And nobody's running to get him anyway. You could have waited that out and matched anyone that gave him a contract. And I guarantee you wouldn't have given that type of deal. And they did, you should have just let him walk there. It made no sense. Go ahead, Danny D. I'm flustered.
I said, like before saying, even if they was giving him money, let him walk. Even if they wasn't giving him that title, he can go. The same thing this is very confusing. When Langston Galloway was here, we didn't want to match Langston Galloway. We let Langston Galloway walk, right? Because they gave him a big contract we didn't want to offer. This guy here, no disrespect to Baker, but no, I'm not giving him that money. No.
Didn't make any sense. No. But, that's the Knicks. Money to burn, man. But anything else y'all want to say regarding the New York Knicks? Anything on your mind, Flo? I think you had something you want to talk about real quick.
I want to talk about a little bit more about Hardaway Jr., then I'll talk about something else in regards to the Knicks. But with Hardaway Jr., I think what the Knicks are banking on with the money that they gave him, they're banking on Hardaway Jr. averaging 18 points a night, 4 rebounds and 3 assists, and it's 30 starts. Keep in mind, gentlemen, those 30 starts was after KK was traded. And when I say KK, I'm referring to Kyle Korver. So I think that's what the Knicks are banking on.
I agree. And you're banking on he got so much better in the 2 years or so since he left the Knicks. Like I said, he's supposed to be a better defender now, so I guess we'll see. But I think it's big on that athleticism. They're hoping that's a big difference. They're hoping in case Melo does get dealt, he could step in, or maybe might Melo stay as another guy that can help Melo out scoring-wise on the sides, or another option with the team. And what's the other thing you want to say there, Flo?
There's some rumors circulating online that if Coach Hornacek of the Knicks, have a bad start, he could be fired in the middle of the season and replaced with former Cleveland Cavaliers head coach David Blatt. Guys, I want to know what's your take on this.
And who will be stepping as coach again?
Former Cleveland Cavaliers coach David Blatt.
I don't want no part of him. No part of David Blatt, man. He could barely survive in Cleveland. Well, I want him over here. What'd you say about that, Danny D?
All right. When's the last time he coached? No, I'm all right.
Good point.
I don't know, he just gave me a bad vibe with LeBron and everything with that. I felt like LeBron just ran over him. They walked all over him. I mean, he's supposed to play really good coach overseas, and that may help your Porzingis situation, but I don't want no neophyte stuff like that no more. I want to prove him coaching there. And this team is not a winning team right now. So how you gonna blame everything on Hornacek? You got a lot of overpaid players who haven't produced. and you're gonna lay all that on Hornacek feet, and you got Melo who don't even want to be here. It looks like. So I mean, come on, and you got a new point guard. You don't even know who really gonna start, and you expect this team automatically gonna be winning coming out the bat. Man, that's a bad move to me. You got to play this one out and just see what you can do as the team goes. If they progress, then I think that's a good move for Hornacek, and you go by that. And if they struggle, you got to wonder whether this big halo going to hang over with Melo anyway. If they're going to talk about him being dealt, or why you expect this team going to win anything? They didn't win anything last year. And he was supposed to be happy being here last year, so I don't know. What else you want to add to that, Flo?
Nah, LA. I agree with both of you guys. I just don't see what is the big need of firing Hornacek and going after David Blatt. I understand there's a Princeton connection because, you know, he's good friends with Steve Mills. They both went to Princeton. They were roommates. I get that, but again, I'm not firing Hornacek right now. Let him commit to his contract. Let him honor his contract. You sign him to a deal. Let him honor it, man. Let him coach this team. You're not going to see too much of the triangle this year. You might see a little bit, but not much. Come on. Give the guy a chance now. Got to give him a chance.
Yeah, I agree. Especially now that the big bear that was staying over and Phil Jackson is gone. Let him coach. Like you said, let him see what he can do with this team. Not having to do the triangle, which is not what he really wanted to do anyway. And then you'll see your true assessment of his abilities. Because I actually liked him when he was back with Phoenix. I thought he's a pretty good coach. So let's see what he can do. He got a decent point guard, and that you're hoping that Frank's going to grow into his position. I think it'll be more than decent, but I'm just saying right now it's hard to see where he's going to be in the next first year or two. So you have to let him see what he can do, see if he can coach him, see how this team can progress, and take it from there. Anything else y'all want to add to the weekly Knicks Roundup, guys?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Flo. Actually,
the one thing the Knicks did do right, they signed Michael Beasley. I think that was a good move by the Knicks. A veteran backup small forward that can score and give Melo a breather. I think that's a good deal. And I think he'll fit in Hornacek's offense, the offense that he's going to be allowed to run this year. I think he's going to thrive in it. So I think that's a good deal. Definitely, that's a good free agent signing. Low risk, high reward. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
and they all keep in mind, gentlemen, the Knicks did sign Ramon Sessions, point guard from the Charlotte Hornets. Keep that in mind also, as a mentor to Frank.
Okay. Just like I said, I'd be more worried about Beasley if he was in Seattle right now, if you know why. Because I just think he needs to stay away from one thing. And he should be okay. He's a prolific scorer, though, so he could give you some punch off the bench. And we'll see what happens with that. The Knicks could definitely use some more scoring. They had a lot of issues with that last year to me. Scoring and defense, especially that second unit. But we'll see what happens as we go forward, guys. And as we go to our closing remarks, starting with you, Danny D.
I want to thank all the fans and the listeners. Keep on subscribing and keep on showing love. And I want to thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time out and getting busy.
Much appreciated, guys. How about you, Flo? What's your closing remarks for today?
LA, I want to thank all the listeners once again, the true dedicated listeners, the NBA listeners. Thank you so much for subscribing to the show. And for people that listen to the show that haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe to the show. It definitely is a good show. We appreciate the love and the support from all you guys, Knicks fans and all the NBA fans all over the world. Also want to thank both of you gentlemen, especially to
Thank you, dear Flo. Appreciate it. And as always, thanks again, Flo and Danny D, for your continued excellence and contribution to the show. Couldn't do it without you guys. And always a big thank you to our dedicated listeners. Make sure y'all stay tuned to our Facebook page and Twitter account regarding any all announcements. And also, just we gonna give a thoughts and prayers to the guys. What's happening in Houston right now, there, guys? It's a lot of flooding due to the Hurricane Harvey and everything in those conditions. So we give our best to that and everything in that nature. And stay tuned. We'll be here for everyone for the show. Keep it going. Make it a good one. See ya.